Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Momentum Trades with Mr. M Trades in our weekly market prep. The call where we take a look at the market and what the next week might hold for us as a investor, and get ready and prepared regardless whether it's going up or down. We're aiming to get a broader understanding of the market. We will, as usual, look at companies that are reporting earnings next week. Look at some potential momentum plays for tomorrow pre-market, and then look at any swings that we might be interested in. I might be exploring also some short opportunities, taking into account the price action and what's happening. But again, as I want to, sort of dive in and maybe have a bit of a conversation about, what happened with interest rates, how the market is reacting to that, despite the Fed keeping the rates at the same level, right? But I think it's important to have a discussion to and have an understanding of what's happening. We'll also try to talk about the potential government shutdown and how it sort of I guess how is the head-to-head battle between the Biden that is trying to sort of create stimulus to put money into the economy, and then on the other hand, Fed is trying to take money out of the economy because the economy seems to be doing too well, and the whole point of raising an interest rate is to slow down the inflation, something that putting more money into the market wouldn't support. So that's just a gist of what we are going to be talking about today. Today is 24th of September 2023, and let's get started. So on the economic front, what do we have to look forward to? I think we've got a new home sales month over month. That's sort of like a medium importance here. I think durable goods orders month over month we have on Wednesday. Crude oil stock. We've got a GDP growth rate quarter over quarter coming in on Thursday. So I think that's going to be play a really good part. Important part here. We also got initial jobless claims on Thursday as well. And we forecasting to 205,000 claims, which is slightly above the previous 201. Consensus is that we're going to come in at 217. So we'll see how that goes as well. And then we've got on Friday we've got a core PCE price index and personal spending and income. So that's going to tell us, I think Thursday and Friday is going to tell us a little bit more about the status of the economy. Whether it's slowing down, because that's, remember, the aim of the Fed and what they're doing with an interest rate is all about, sort of tackling the inflation, right? Inflation, is caused by economy doing too well. Despite everything that is happening, there's just too much spending happening. So the whole point of raising the interest rates is to, sort of cut that spending to a certain level, right? Less money to spend, economy slowing down, and economy has just been very, very robust, and and that's really what's been happening, right? Especially, and that's why we've seen the price action overall for the market last week, is that even though the rates were not raised, right? And these were that was the expectation. The market tanked. And the reason why it tanked, because what the market was pricing in was, I think, by the end of 2024, they were pricing in 3 consecutive rate cuts. But after the Wednesday's announcements, I think the prediction has changed from 3 to 2, right? Which essentially we can look at it and say that even though the rates were not, sort of raised, the expectation now that there will only be 2 cuts means that, it's almost as if they were hiked, right? So hiking without hiking, essentially. And that's why, we saw the really negative price action and the deeper pullback. So hope that is clear. But I think going into next week, I think the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday look relatively okay, but I think there's going to be a lot of uncertainty here for us going into Thursday and Friday. So this is the 2 days that we need to be looking for, right? So let me just post that in the chat real quick. All right. Let's take a look at the earnings coming up next week. So on the earnings front, what do we have here? Pretty light week in terms of earnings, and we've got a Costco reporting after close on Tuesday. Then we've got a Micron after close. Chips haven't been doing well in that market weakness, and I think Nicholas, you mentioned SMCI, so we'll take a look at that as well. But we've got Micron. We'll take a look at them, and then we've got a Nike after close and Carnival. So yeah, not many. Let's make my notes. Mhm. All right. So we want to take a look at Costco, Micron, Nike. Okay. That's about it. Right. Let's jump into SPY, see what the major indexes are doing. And yeah, we can really see since the I think Monday, well, we've been sitting pretty much breaking the lows continuously on the expanding volume. And as expected, I think, this was the major support. And this is something I think I've communicated in the chat to say that we're going to come and visit that 431 level. And I believe we hit that level on that particular day when I've mentioned it. And it was broken down, right? And you can see that the volume is just expanding here. So that's pretty much very it's not very bullish at all a story. I think we've got a little bit more ways to go here. The next level that I see it hitting is going to be 429, and then around 426 on the on the SPY. We've broken down through the 100-day line, and now yeah, not looking positive at all. some major supports were broken right over here. And here as well. Yeah, we tried to go up here. I think people thought we were going to bounce, but we finished, pretty close to lows. So I'm expecting more downside moving into next week. Just look at the Qs. Q's currently hanging in here on that 50-day line. Although in terms of the price action on a day on Friday, we can see pretty much the same thing. Got a bearish hammer here. And we really need to hang on to that, to see whether we can hold in that zone. There is a weak support here, just about. But you can see this is the first time in a really long time that we came down to test the 100-day line, right? I'm currently looking very bearish, again, on expanding volume as well. So I think what I'm going to be looking at is also potential short opportunities on, in a growth sector. So if you can think of any recent leaders, I need to go through my list, but any recent leaders that that just showed up, and now they're reacting to what's happening in the market, then that is worth exploring in terms of the short position here. Because we currently here at this support of 357, and I think if we're going to break the lows, then the puts can work here all the way down to 354, and if we break 354, then the next stop for us is going to be 348 here on the Qs. Okay, let's look at NASDAQ. There we go. NASDAQ also breaking here. This sort of this support that we had right over here. We had a recent bounce. And as we broke that trend line, we just continue moving down. So this is the zone, the demand zone that we need to now be mindful of. And depending on the price action this week, we might see some ranging here below, but it's again another bearish hammer here as well. Let's look at the weekly print. Yeah, I mean, look at the weekly. This is just hugely. This is like pretty much, and this is how you guys want you to kind of approach looking at the charts. Like, look at the strength of this candle from this week, right? So what is it like? Just this candle alone just took out these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of trading, right? So I just want, like, in terms of the perspective, I just want you to be aware of that. How, that this is I don't think it's an ordinary pullback, right? I think there's a lot of selling happening right now. So we need to be mindful. I expect, more downside here as well. So at the moment, everything's telling me that it's that we're looking bearish. Funnily enough, we're not seeing any flight to safety here. I'm just looking at gold here. This is what usually happens, right? What we might be interested in is watching at the UVXY, right? To go along. That's an inverse of this trying trust ultra VIX short-term futures. So breaking here, and we're just coming out of this pivot here, right? So you may want to, if you want to sort of play UVXY, then it can be a play here above that 1605 level if we get there. Just remember it's a leveraged ETF, so it's yeah, it moves quicker. Yeah. Looking at oil, I think I've sent the, yeah, managed to move almost, what was that? It was 8 points here since I've alerted. And it is just bouncing off the 8-day line here for crude oil. And yeah, I think I saw somewhere that it's read an article that we might be looking for move towards $100 per barrel in the near future. And yeah, and this is, you know, cup and handle breakout from the technical perspective. So I'll be watching that as well. All right. Any question with regards to the major indexes? Questions or insights? No. But to summarize, I think, you know, I think you can tell from the picture that I've just painted that, you know, caution is advised. I think for the coming week, we need to move down to, you know, to be on a defense. And what that means is, you know, you decide, you know, what you want to be or how much you want to be trading. But at least if you're trading, I would suggest, you know, going into half or even like quarter positions, because I expect that it's not going to be much follow through on breakouts. There we go. Russell, similar story here. It's just a solid downtrend all the way. There we go. So on the Russell, we might be seeing coming down to this channel before any bounce. Okay. Well, if there's no question, so here's what I want to, let's go and look at the some momentum plays for tomorrow pre-market. And the first one I am looking at is FAZE. Got a massive run after hours, 66% up. Just check the news. Mm-hmm. Prospectus relates to prospectus data. Letter from the staff of NASDAQ notifying the company it's no longer met. Right. Okay. So that's the letter for the NASDAQ requirement. Okay. So will be the letter NASDAQ getting company an additional compliance period of 180 days. Okay. So they've been issued a letter for non-compliance, right? So for some of you that are new to the group, essentially, in order to trade on NASDAQ, your stock needs to be valued at more than $1. If you do not meet that requirement, meaning your stock trades below the dollar level, you are being issued a letter, right, from a notice of delisting or failure to satisfy a continued listing rule or standard, right? And essentially what it does is they are giving 6 months, or 180 days in order to, maintain a minimum bid price of $1 per share. And usually there are a few things that happen when this takes place, right? Usually it's a positive reaction. Well, not positive. It's by any means this is not a positive, right? Because the company is underperforming and is failing to stay above the $1 level. But it should be looked at in a couple of ways. One, the company is now going to do everything they possibly can, right, to stay above the $1 level, right? And sometimes people buy this, sort of as low as possible, right? And stock then tends to sort of run like you see over here. Sometimes it gets to a dollar level, sometimes it doesn't. But on most occasion, what happens is companies also then do reverse splits, right? Which essentially means a dilution. So they will have a reverse split like 1 to 10, which would mean that now at this price, right, you would get 1 share to every 10 shares that you are holding, meaning that this price now valued, let's say at 25 cents, would turn into $2.50, right? So, it gets them to be compliant, but essentially it's diluting the value of shares. So it's not, overall, it's not a. I wouldn't see it as a net positive, to be honest. But once you trade these for quite a while and you've seen enough of these, you kind of see the pattern repeating, right? Which is something like that. When they so low, they get a listing requirement notice, and then the stock tends to run. So why am I saying all this and explaining all this? Because I think the context matters, and I think we need to be looking at this from the, what level of risk we are exposing ourselves to, and this is risky. This can go, this can run to 50 cents plus, and then pull back, or it can just try to break out and fail. Overall, we've got a potential sort of breakout here at the above 25 with a stop loss around 2050. So, in order to make it 2 to 1, we're looking at, we needed to run towards around 33 cents. So FAZE goes on a morning watch list here for the pre-market, and at the break of 25.10. So number 1 is FAZE. So I'll just post that also on in the watch list channel, so everyone can okay, FAZE. That's a high risk. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got over there. Let's look at NVOS. Okay, NVOS around 30% after hours. Any news? These were the shareholders through the brokerage account. Recent debt financing. Okay, so okay. Well, in terms of NVOS, I'm just seeing some. Despite the last 3 days, they held up pretty well. In terms of the price action here. So I'll be watching the move here above 33.50 on NVOS. Potentially sort of go towards that 40 level here. So it's lower probability. There we go. Okay. Okay, so then another one, KSCP. Okay, so let's see what the news are on KSCP. New York NYPD launches Nightscope security robot service in Manhattan subway. It's a blue light emergency communication system today announced that the city of New York Police Department launched a Nightscope K5 security robot service at a press conference in Manhattan. The other police departments have been successfully using technology for years, with one in LA County, California, offers public safety officials an effective way to augment their agencies, which in many cases are already strained by an alarming decline in law enforcement officers in spite of growing populations. Okay. I'm not into anyone from New York? Had some good news as well on Wednesday, which is the Roberts Roadshow makes 100th landing in California markets, renews contract for 50 year. Don't know what is the value of the contract. I'm just trying to find it here. Okay, but from the from the technical perspective here, what we're seeing is we just touched that long-term trend line here. The ideal buy point would be here above 112, but I think potentially a starter here above the break above 90, 95, 96 level. So that's where we would want to get to see whether we can actually progress further. KSCP. So watching for initial break above long-term trend line resistance, which would be here around 96. Stronger add above 113. Okay. Right, I want to take a look at AVTX to see whether I'll keep it on my watch list, but I'm not gonna post it in the watch list channel. For now it's a bit of consolidation here. Possible here above 14 cents. Okay, and the last but not least, well, actually, it is LIFW that it's been giving us some really nice, gains over the last week, and I think I actually really like it if we can make its way back up here above the Friday's high for continuation, even stronger if we can break above, the Thursday's highs, which is, 31.20. It's a nice nice pocket entry here on that dip. right over here. It was green over red, almost to a supernova position here, and it's still, only yesterday, or sorry, only on Friday it failed to make a new high. So we really needed to make a high here, but the next attempt might be to, if we get it here, sort of break above this trend line resistance for continuation higher. So, keeping an eye on LIFW moving into next week. All right, so that seems to be pretty much it from the momentum side of things. Let's look at the some earnings plays. Yeah, at the moment, the current market outlook, it changed. I don't know if you remember, last week we had a market in uptrend under pressure, and current outlook is market in correction. So we officially now in correction, right? You can see that here. Now, and I don't, as you noticed, normally we have more swing plays, but when market is in correction, we need to be looking at the different opportunities. But the first two that I'm going to go through the earnings. So the first one is cost. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, I mean, costs coming up, it's just like a flat base. It's just got a broad consolidation here. And it is coming to a buy point actually, which is above this pivot. But again, with the market in correction, we need to be wary of that. So, and despite it showed a lot of relative strength here over the last week. They've been pretty consistent in terms of the EPS growth and sales, although sales been declining over the last year. I think last year at this time we had around 15% growth in sales. Last quarter they've only reported increase of 2%. So sales are declining. Now volume, as you can see here, is fading, right? So we've got a bit of a confluence going on here. And I think, well, from what I'm seeing here, the potential here, if we break out, the RS is pointing upwards. And if we can break out from this flat base, we might be looking for potentially move towards, 700. But that's, I would treat that as a long-term sort of play. So cost. Earnings after Tuesday. Close. Coming up to a buy point of 571. So above 571, so let's say 571.50. So for potential starter. Now, if positive earnings and outlook, this might be good mid-term, long-term play with potential to 700. Okay. Okay. There's another one. Okay, and then the next one is Micron. Now, the Micron here, let's double bottom here first. Then we've got cap with handle here now. So yeah, but haven't been doing well in terms of the finances and the growth. You can see the sales declining heavily quarter over quarter. The volume here is increasing on the sales side. So we'll see. In order to, we need to break this 73 to the 72.60 level in order to go higher. But for now, I'm just gonna skip the Micron. Just don't like it. Don't like the numbers. Okay. Next one up is Nike. Yeah, Nike not looking good either. Pretty much here. Solid downtrend here. And coming down here to this trend line support, see where they can bounce, but expanding volume to the sell side. So that's a no for me. Thank you. All right, that's all the tickers that we had on our earnings watch list. So the only viable option here for us is Costco on the earnings side. Right, two more that I want to take a look at are LPG. And LPG has been doing really, really good. And loving the volume here. And the fact that it's literally just breaking out. It's still in a buy zone here. And it's got a 98 RS rating with a cap and handle cap and handle breakout here. So nice consolidation. Look at it. Look at how tight this consolidation here was. We pull back to 20-day line, and now we moving on expanding volume. So I'm actually really liking the LPG. The target on that would be around 34. So another 10% there, 34 on the low side. Okay, breaking out on expanding volume from cap and handle setup. For entry start and move towards 33, 34, 36. Has anyone seen LPG before?
Not really. LNG, but not LPG.
Yeah, and they had
Looks good.
yeah, look very good. So let me just grab the numbers here, so we can see how, massive EPS growth over the last 6 quarters. Look at the sales numbers growth as well. Got a double
Oh
digit.
yeah.
So this is exactly the type of stuff that I'm looking for. The volume is, like I said, increasing above average. We've got about 40 days till the next earnings. The RS line is just shooting up. It's the highest point I think
Hmm.
of the RS line. I'm gonna show you guys, if you're new to the group, I'll show you what the RS rating is. But
Beautiful cup and handle too.
yep. There we go. If you're wondering what is the RS rating, is this. Right? It's a relative strength line, and it's essentially comprised of, sort of taking different weighing performance of the company over the last year based on the EPS growth, so earnings per share, right? And the sales as well. So, and it's done here on this chart. You can see the top line here. It's the overall performance of the S&P 500, right? So and you can see where the S&P 500 is downtrending, right? Look at the growth of the RS company. And I'm actually going to post an article on the strength of the even in a down market, the buying with the strong RS is where you find the winners. So this is how we assess our swings. And then yeah, that volume here is just really nice confirmation, and just in terms of my ticking my box. Okay. All right, so that's LPG. And then flat-based breakout is ATVI as well. I want to take a look at. Just wondering what happened over there. There we go, guys. So I'm just going to Benzinga and okay, so we had some analysts. So UK regulator gives a preliminary nod to Microsoft's deal with Activation Blizzard, and that was when? That was on Saturday. All right, okay. Tell you what. I think 94.50 here. I think 94.50 here might be the time to have a starter in. RS here is 88. Really, I'm sort of that volume is just here interests me quite a bit. It's the highest point of the RS line since March. And we've got some good news coming up on some deal with Microsoft as well. Yeah. Breaking out on volume from flat base. RS equals 88. Last 2 quarters they've delivered, they grew their EPS massively, 72% and 90% last quarter. Sales grew by 35% in the last 2 quarters. We've got forecast for the end of the year by 44% as well. Number of funds, it's holding steady. The 47 ownership, we've got a 47 owned by funds. It's got positive cash flow, 11% return on equity, and we've got a 25 forward PE as well. And they've got a EPS growth rate 7%. So I like it. I think especially is that a buy point here, that resistance. And the last time look at that. Well, last time we had a setup like this would happen. So but we don't want to then miss that kind of move here. Yeah, I think that's fine. Get a stop here around 91. above 49.50, sorry, 94.50. Yeah, stock rose after the UK antitrust agency said a newly structured deal substantially addresses its concerns regarding cloud gaming. Okay. Okay. All right. Correction. Weekly. Mhm. Let's look at another one. EG. Now I'm liking the setup of EG here, but it's a bit overextended here. Although it's coming up here to this tight pivot, following this consolidation, and it's been going on here for a while. So I'm gonna set myself a load here on the cross of that, I guess 396 for EG. Something might materialize there. All right. Okay. I think that's all I've got. I think we just need to play it by the ear, moving into next week. There's no point for me really to go into deep analysis of swings unless there's immediate opportunity. I think we need to see how how Monday and Tuesday is gonna turn out, and then just take it day by day. Any chart requests, please do it here. I'll try to do it for the next 10 minutes here. So someone wants me to take it at SMCI. Honestly, well, that was the point that I was talking about. SMCI was a market leader, right? So, and we've taken that opportunity as well. But now it's just breaking down, and I think this, like SMCI, that's presenting here a short opportunity, simply because we had this break of the trend. Now it broke through that trend line. It tried to reverse, but now it's sort of failing. So I think SMCI here to the short side if we break here to below 225. LAIV, I've covered that one. Yeah, I'm not really. Someone asked about the ETF. Yeah, Tesla option. Like I don't know. I'd rather
Mm.
trade to Tesla than this, but you know, this is looks like a short opportunity as well. So dividend yield 66.2%. Wow. Every what? How often are the dividends? A year on annual basis? Again, I don't really trade ETFs, so can't really answer that. Gonna look at Avgo. Didn't really. It's another market leader that is sort of failing here. I would look for rejection here. Like come down, needs to test the lows and come down in here and reject 808 essentially to pull back. And then as we break here below that low of whatever that is, 792, right? That's where I feel it'll be short, you know, a short play. Okay, let's look at Tesla. You know, break into the 8-day line. It can come down. Definitely is going to come down here to 20-day line, in my opinion. There we go. Broke the trend line here. Coming to test a 20. And we've got a 30. Expanding volume. And this is to, you know, it goes also for the how the queue is going to act. But you know, these are roughly the levels that we should be watching for here. Coming here, coinciding with the 30-day line, as well. You know, this is sort of full bearish candle, so we'll definitely see more continuation to the downside tomorrow on Tesla. So, but luckily, you know, there was no entry anywhere. All right, let's take a look at Meta. Yeah, I think Meta's holding up much better here compared to Tesla. Although again, everything is just looking bearish. I think you gotta. We've got a pull back here to 100-day line. So that's 50-day line. Got a bit of a bounce, and then there's this demand zone that we've got over here going on. Yeah, still bearish. I mean, in terms of we can range here a little bit, I think. And that trend line here, as you can see, that's going to be the one that needs to be broken out of. It's got a bit of a channel now here being created. So at the moment, yeah, nothing there for me to really sort of go after to the long side. Like I said, I'll be watching more for the short opportunities rather than long. It's just the right thing to do. Right. Any other questions? I think that's all the tickets that I had in the chat. Any other questions or requests? Tony, what are you watching for next week?
What am I watching? Well, definitely with you on looking at the short side of things, but with everything everything I'm dealing with at home, we've got a big project coming up, moving some power lines on our property. So I've kind of been out of it for a while as
That's
far as the trading scene, but I still try to stay up with everything. But yeah, I'm with you on pretty much everything that you've been saying. So just hang on to your hat and try to get through this next few weeks. See what we get.
yeah.
Hasn't been looking good.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the government shutdown looming, I think we need to
Hmm.
we need to watch that as well. I think it's going to be battle, right, between Biden and the Fed.
Yep.
Biden will his objective is to get, reelected essentially,
Well, it's
right?
the Republicans actually that are causing the shutdown at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just not doing their part. The Democrats have already come up with their plan, and the Republicans went home for the weekend. To say, we're not doing anything. Yeah, they want to. It's all political, BS. But it's frustrating. It really is.
Yep.
Almost makes me want to move out of the U.S. But
So yeah,
yeah,
guys. Thanks, Tony. I
yeah.
think
Thank you.
that's pretty much it. Overall, I think, we going with the mindset of, more downside,
Hmm.
in the short term. Like officially
Right.
we in correction. So, um, you know, let's see cautiously what tomorrow and Tuesday brings, and then remember we've got some news on coming out on Thursday, Friday. That's going to determine the end of the week. But I think, we should everything approach with caution, and whatever that means for you guys, going more into cash, or you know, cutting down of your full position, right? Going down to half position or quarter position.
Hmm.
It's fair enough. Cash is also a position. And then
That's right.
remember that you don't need to take the trade, right? Don't force anything. As you saw, the amount of trades that were coming from me this week were, minimal, right? Just there was nothing there to go after. So and whenever whenever it just didn't work, we cut and we move on and on to the next one. So
Right. And energy is looking better though. Energy is looking like it's there. So
just look at
keep your
XLE.
eyes open.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
XLE is kind of coming down a little bit with everything else, but
yeah. I'll let's look at the sectors actually. Where's the sectors? It's not here. No, yeah. I need to find my sectors chart somewhere. I'll post it later on. But for now, I just yeah, gotta sign off because that's gonna be a really long video
yeah,
that I need to post. But thanks everyone for your
right.
time for attending, and have a great evening, and I will or afternoon, and I'll catch you all in the chat. And tomorrow morning we'll be up and running with the watch list. Remember, in the weekly watch, you will have your full report posted later today. So make sure to download
Perfect.
that. You've got a full view on the market, each major index with the more in-depth setups as well. So make use of that channel as well. But for now, thanks for
Thank you,
attending,
Matt.
and then I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
All right. Bye bye now.